Corolla. But, I did miss Pity, and I got another one of my favorite characters. Melania. She's up top of it. Right here. Special outfit.
Can I help you?
Her standard
Sorry.
outfit
Your visit was not in my plan, so...
is upside down. Right there as well. Kind of like her spy outfit or thief outfit. And I got this special one because, boy, is she a joy. Oh, let's see what this is. Oh, plays over there. Interesting. Oh, okay. Anyway, we're getting on with the story. The plan is to shut it down by the time Mume's special stream comes online, which she's making a special announcement. We don't know what it is. It sounds... She said it's important. And a bunch of people were saying that they wanted to see that. So we're going to honor that and go watch it ourselves rather than trying and stream at the same time. And I'll make sure that... Right. 10:30. So we've got to be off before then. Probably do a raid. Hopefully into somebody else who's gonna watch the stream. We'll see. But that's a normal amount of time for a shorter reverse stream. Let's get started right away. The story will explain itself, but if you're coming in fresh, you do at least need to know a little bit about the background of this game. That the organization known as the Foundation is trying to deal with a natural disaster called the Storm. And during this particular trailer they set up, we're dealing with, Storm Experiments. Part 1, a message delivered.
When the first proverb appears on the shell, we reach the shores of elsewhere. The island, the upturned palm of Mother Sea.
The once drifting boat now beds itself in the golden sand.
When the second proverb appears on the shell, we kindle the fire, the crackling warmth, the spark of hope.
The joyful people are long blessed as one.
When the third proverb appears on the shell, we accept the sea's gift. The rolling waves, the plentiful fish.
The cool sea breeze cradles us.
When the fourth proverb appears on the shell, we face the test, the salty tears, the longing gaze.
Beyond the sea, I find no home. Beyond the sea, I find no home.
You did well today, Tutu.
Thank you, Kamitsa. I was just playing my part in celebrating the success of the trade season. Nothing special, really.
Aww. She's a gotcha character coming up.
But what are we doing here? What could be more important than the celebration? I've never seen you sneak off on a bonfire night before.
Tutu, do you think you and your friends could fix up that old ship?
Wow.
I know you're close with Toa Salome and the rest. They always make sure their first Faust go to you. I'm sure they'd be happy to lend you a hand. And the elders like you too. I've heard many of them say they'll leave their spirit shells to you. So you can win their support too, right?
Whoa. Slow down, Big Chief. Are you saying you want to fix up the Quick Spear?
Yeah.
She's got a weird accent for this, kind of like American, LA, a little bit.
But why? We've kept it docked for years.
Maybe one day we'll need to set sail again. To fish or spend some time on another island.
But the merchants already come by every few months to bring us hollow fruits and red snappers. Why would we need to sail?
Kamuta paces back and forth in front of Fatutu, the words stuck in his throat.
Yeah, but what if a storm hits? Are we just going to sit around and let the waves wash away our homes?
We've been through much worse than a few storms.
She raises her head
Remember when
proudly.
the waves came and took away Malaga? Helani cried for days over that little pebble castle. And then that strange oil polluted the water all around Ititi. The only place where the water's calm enough
This
to
game
hold
is
a pow-pow
wild.
race. We
I
haven't
went
held a race
through
since.
an interesting design review that another streamer had done over the art, and she was just talking about the costumes. Took a few hours because there's so many, and she was so impressed at everything that went into the character design. Welcome in, Bellamy. Welcome in. Doing our
And Michi
regular reverse
and Vancouver.
1999 patch stream. We're gonna stop it a little bit early because Mume is doing a special stream. Yeah, and this isn't unusual.
But we've made it through. Because that's what we do in the face of difficulties, right? We stick together. Besides, we're doing just fine on Melly.
But what if we lose Melly to the waves as well?
So they were having a celebration, and this guy snuck off with her to ask her to start fixing up their boat because he's worried, I think, that something's going to happen to the island. And she has no
If it
idea.
comes
She's
to
not
that.
getting the message.
Tutu, I need you to take everyone and leave. Find somewhere to stay for a while. Can I ask that of you?
The Tutu's brow furrows.
You've been acting strange, brother. Are you thinking of sneaking off and leaving us?
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Neither are the rest of us, brother.
No. You must get ready. Start preparing now.
Kamuta's unusual behavior leads Fatutu to make a bold guess.
Something's been bothering you since last trade season. You've been spending a lot of time at the beach, looking out to the sea. Did a witch put a spell on you? You better wear some malacca around your neck and carry nippones and doll sleeves.
I do find her accent a little interesting. It's not what I would expect. It's cute. I don't know if it fits her character. It feels a little too American.
No. There's no witch. It's just something Miss Grace told me. It's been bugging me.
Miss Grace? That outsider who calls herself a captain?
Okay. Wonder if I know Miss Grace. I bet I do. I wonder if this is the blind woman from the previous Brazil event. On the beach, Yukutai bid farewell to their guests in twos and threes, enjoying this rare moment of leisure.
I don't mean to alarm you, Mr. Kamuta.
Oh! No. Miss Grace is the lookalike from Argus's story. The girl that Argus thought she was trying to find, but she just looked like her. Okay, so she's back again. Mysteries surround this girl like nothing else.
But 3 months from now, Melly will be devoured by a tsunami.
She stands nonchalantly, as if discussing something insignificant. Yeah. Oh, love her bonnet? Yeah.
Miss Grace, don't say such nonsense. You're welcome as a guest, but that doesn't give you the right to spread fear among my people.
What if I told you that the sinking of Malaga and Baipuna wasn't entirely caused by the tsunami? But there were other factors at play.
Oh, other islands went down too?
It is true that the tsunami sent them into the sea. But long before it struck, foreign military forces had been eyeing the islands for their strategic value.
What does she know about the military and strategy? Wild.
Those rumbling sounds, they weren't thunder?
They were torpedoes launched by humans.
Torpedoes that would destroy an island? She presents a thick document in her hand.
And I have some unfortunate news regarding them.
Kimuta grabs the cold and personal stack of white paper.
The area is now under martial law. Any development plans for the region should be revised accordingly. These coordinates, they cover Nukuteao.
After a brief investigation, they concluded that your home is an unoccupied area suitable for their weapon testing. It won't be long before they publish a report on this new test site and receive their rewards for discovering it.
The veil of nothingness was cast by our ancestors to protect us from the outside world.
Ouch.
I never thought it would put us at risk. As chief, I must bring this to the attention of my people. Perhaps it's time we remove the mist. But without it, we'll draw all kinds of attention.
Kimuta clenches the report tightly in his fist.
Miss Grace, may I borrow this document? My people need to see this.
Be my guest. But you'd better persuade them quickly.
Why is that?
Timeline are we on?
As far as I know, they're looking to expand the test site. It's on their agenda now.
Right. We'll have to set up a meeting with them to negotiate.
Certainly. I wish you the best of luck persuading those warmongers. And for your safety in the coming tsunami.
Every nonchalant word that leaves her mouth strikes Kimuta with the shocking gravity of the situation.
With all due respect, Miss Grace, not even the Nukutai can predict the movements of the ocean that far in advance. On what basis are you making this forecast?
It's not a forecast, Mr. Kamuta. Call it the wisdom of hindsight. Or perhaps I should put it more clearly. Have you heard of the storm?
Kamutza! Kamutza! Brother! The rain's getting heavier! We must go inside!
Nope. Rain blurs Kimuta's vision. He stares into the distance, his eyes widening as the frothing waves roar toward the coast. The sea level is rising.
It's the tsunami. It's happening.
Roots? Like the soil beneath the ever-rising waterline, Kimuta's murmured words are quickly buried. The sea has almost swallowed the whole atoll.
What's going on, Tutu? Kamuta?
A worried figure hurries over.
No time for questions, Toa. We must bring these baskets to safety.
but Tutu is already pushing as many woven baskets filled with berries and bundled material as she can up to higher ground. Her hands are a sore red, her face stamped with desperate determination.
Ah, there's food and clothes in there.
Here, I'll give you a hand.
A tall figure rushes over, grabbing the basket from the children's hands and tossing them aside.
Chief, what are you doing?
Leave them. There's no time. We must get to the ship. Now!
Our people still have to live after the flood's over. If we don't bring something, what are we going to eat? Or where? These things won't fall into our laps, you know.
Listen, it's different this time. You...
Before Kamuta can finish speaking, a few dark shadows dart out from the forest.
Tutu! Watch out!
A row of sharp claws grazes Kamuta's back.
What are all these splinter cats doing here?
The near endless surge of critters starts to create an even greater panic.
These aren't just splinter cats. Are those Sarmatian sea snails? And crabs with ghost faces?
That's a name! Sarmatian sea snails? Why are sea snails a threat? And crabs with ghost faces? Man.
I've never seen them all come out together before. What kind of storm is this?
In the flashes of lightning, doubt and worry flicker across the Nukutai's faces.
They can sense the coming tsunami. Come! We need more hands to drive them off.
Understood.
Alright, we have a battle. Team doesn't matter too much, but let's build something for Mineral. Anjonala, Junangzi, Classic. Lepera. Oh. Alright, let's go with that.
Show me what you've got.
No idea if Ms. Grace will ever become a gacha character. She's so mysterious. Anjonala was the one that we got in the previous, not last patch, but the one before. And she does a massive burst of damage.
Understood.
And
So you have a
has
little faith in me, Master.
her partner, which is right now Junangzi, do her ultimate at the same time. You have to build them up together. She also does a powerful him attack if you charge that up. So this is gonna get a massive charge to the him.
Your end draws
And
near.
now do an extraction from Junangzi and charge
Another
her
shot?
up.
Keep calm.
And that was almost enough to just take them out.
You
And
don't
this
wanna
should be the
miss
rest
it.
of it.
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
The fleeing critters surged like the tide, scattering the Nukutai. Many are left wounded.
Go! All of you! Now! Everyone get to the quick spear!
Ghostface Crab
tsunami.
talks.
It's the worst I've ever seen. Is it true? Is this the end of Melly?
Tutu! Don't just stand there. Get over here!
From the shadows, a spiny
Slash
claw
them to
swipes at
unflower.
Fatutu. And boy, is that some strange language. An inky black incantation flashes past her. A familiar face appears at the highest point of the reef.
Miss Grace!
Grace surveys the scene, a gentle smile on her face.
Seems I'm right on time.
You're Miss Grace.
You should be more careful out here, dear. People of New Katao, are you ready to set sail?
Pale shadow gracefully lands beside Fatutu.
Set sail?
You haven't realized what he was talking about the quick spear yet?
No, no. You've got this all wrong, outsider. We're not going anywhere. We Nukata will not abandon our home.
The string of shells around Fatutu's neck heaves along with the defiant breaths in her chest.
Tutu, wait. Maybe Miss Grace knows a better way.
She pulls away from Kamutsa's hand.
Refuse all you like, miss. But your homeland will be completely submerged before long.
Her words are light, almost careless, as they toy with this unmoving rock beneath her before her.
We appreciate your help, Miss Grace, and we'll make sure to return the favor as best we can. But we don't find your view on the situation all that convincing.
You don't, do you?
The critter, now bound by Miss Grace's incantation, is pulled before Fatutu.
Take a look at this little creature. One of nature's many remarkable creations.
Ghost face crab. I want a picture of it.
It has a fitting name, too. The Moon-Eyed Fiddler. They hide themselves in the water, covering their traces with the ebb and flow of the tide. They only come ashore when the tide is high, and from there they migrate to quieter waters. The diviners and arcane dealers, they are the living gold of the ocean. But to the people who live near their regular habitats, they are an ill omen. Wherever they appear, floods are sure to follow.
Grace takes a few subtle steps toward Fatutu.
This tsunami is only the beginning. Animals migrate and leave their homes behind when conditions become unfavorable. You should do the same. Look around you. Think about your people.
The tide of creatures seems to have subsided, but the Nukatai still bleed. Fatutu can clearly hear their labored sighs and
Tutu.
gasps.
It's okay. We know you have your reasons.
Fatutu stands frozen, the sand and gravel carried by the seawater washing over her trembling feet. Tears well up in her eyes as the mottled gray of the sky above seems to merge with the crimson
Do we
water around her.
really have to leave?
Grace gently adjusts Fatutu's collar, wiping the rain from her face.
The outside world is indeed full of dangers. But there is less to fear than you think. I'll help you through it.
The tide grows more turbulent, crashing against rocks and shaking the foundations of Nukatai's homes. There is a series of crashes as coconut trees fall, and the earth crumbles and falls with it.
There it is, our ship.
Wow, that sound right there. Transitioned into a slightly different song, it felt like. A little bit more spacey. A little bit more mystical. Last evenings on Earth. That Ms. Radio.
Today's headlines. A new naval testing site has been established in an unoccupied area of the Eastern Pacific Ocean to facilitate future armament research and development. South America is facing a significant economic crisis marked by stagnation, inflation, and rising unemployment. The poverty rate in several regions has reached new highs in the last decade. The Ocean Conservation Association is calling for greater attention to be paid to the oil spill near the archipelagos, claiming that the relevant organizations have yet to launch a full investigation into the cause of the incident. The Free Breeze cruise ship is set to arrive in Sydney Harbor later today. Astrophysicists forecast a solar eclipse this month.
Okay. All that together? A hand precisely presses the little green button, and a painful wail follows.
Oh, Miss Radio! How could you do this to me? Today of all days? Your bloody alarm ruined my precious holiday lying!
My apologies, Miss Regulus. But it wasn't an alarm. It was the daily news broadcast.
The swatted aside, Miss Radio seems to have a clear signal.
If the morning news isn't quite to your taste, I can offer a variety of alternatives, including programs on literature and music critique, Australian food, and so on.
Ugh, no!
Her cry echoes through the room.
Sorry, it seems I've caught you at a bad time.
Ezra, having just peeked his head through the door, immediately ducks back. A one-sided conflict seems inevitable.
But please be careful, Miss Regulus. I know the LSCC encourages us to examine machines like Ms. Radio, but I don't think a violent disassembly would go down so well.
Oh boy. Regulus gets to her feet.
Violence? If there's any sort of violence in this room, I'm the one receiving it. Where's my justice?
Well, I'm afraid justice might be slow to come. The Australian branch is going through restructuring at the moment. Things will be put on hold for a while. In the meantime, you've been assigned to a new team, the Storm Research Group.
What? Me?
Yes.
I like how
Mr.
her
Ulrich's
surprised
leading.
eyes peek over the
He made a
glasses.
special request for you to be on the team. He's looking forward to meeting you in person.
They want to wreck another one of her
Just like
ships, I
that?
bet. I think that was
Didn't
what I
anyone
saw.
care to ask me what I wanted to do?
Regulus's puzzled expression soon gives way to a sudden realization.
Wait, why are you telling me this now?
The list of group members and the reasons for their selection have been up on Laplace's website for a week now.
They use websites in the Foundation?
And today is its official founding day. You should be there, as a Laplace staff member and an important part of the new team.
She's a Laplace staff member?
Huh? Hold on a minute. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still on Team Timekeeper. And, more importantly, I'm still on my time off.
Good to see that you actually paid attention in our last group meeting, Regulus.
The owner of the suitcase, Regulus's savior, the great timekeeper, arrives at the door. And yes, all the outfits in this game are fantastic, and I was laughing at Regulus's eyes as she gets excited or upset. They peek over the tops of the glasses.
Latin! Oh, thank God you're here. Go on, tell them I'm still on holiday.
The fast-drowning pirate is hoping for a life preserver.
Sorry to break it to you like this, Regulus, but today's our last day off.
You can't be serious.
Of course I am. Also, Mr. Ulrich has invited us to attend the ceremony in Laplace. Shall I give you a moment to get ready?
No!
No! To be continued. Free breeze. I'm glad they didn't name it the Titanic.
Captain, we seem to have deviated from our route to Laplace.
The road to the LSCC is ever fraught with obstacles.
A great pirate, Mr. Apple, doesn't simply rely on her compass. She must listen to her heart too.
Ah, this Apple thought you were trying to slip away to make the most of your final day off.
Well, that do.
Like Odysseus returning victorious from the Trojan War, Regulus nimbly dives into one vortex after another.
Come get your sucker rat whiskers all the way from Brazil. Perfect for brewing a chill wind elixir. Only 185 sharpodontes. See anything you like? You won't find a better price anywhere.
This is a good price. Do you have more of this stuff? Show me everything you've got.
Captain, might I remind you that Miss Sotheby is not traveling with us at this time?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sotheby normally has a lot of funds at her hand, and she can help out if Regulus ever needs something. Sotheby's just crazy rich and a little girl. She doesn't have much to spend it on right now. The temptations before them seem to be endless. Paint! A street artist sings as paint flies through the air. It's almost splashing onto Regulus' sunglasses. Oh no, not the MLG shades like you said.
Alright, mate. Whoa, love the colours. How about bringing in some pop art? Trust me, it'll take it to a whole new level. You should come visit London sometime. We've got some seriously groovy art on the streets.
Pop art? That's a bit dated, don't you think?
That's a bit dated.
I beg your pardon?
Just as Regulus rolls up her sleeves ready for a tussle, a not too distant cheer grabs her attention.
Did you hear that? We better go over there and check it out, Mr. Apple.
New party?
What is it? Could it be Manus Vindictae? Miss Verton did caution us against the Manus followers we might encounter in Australia.
No, it's something much more important than that.
Did she find the record that we see in the trailer? Yeah, I know. So much care. This is the other Gachi character we're getting. She's up right now. Fatutu is the one that comes up next. She's got some sort of trumpet attached to her leg. 6-string weird guitar. But it looks more like a bass or something. Not a bass.
Ladies
the big
and
one.
gentlemen,
Whatever.
welcome to the greatest sail-away party in all Australia. For those of you who haven't signed up for the trip, think again. This is the ultimate sailing experience. Relaxation, food, drink, and music. Don't miss out.
I won't miss out.
The Free Breeze is about to set sail. No need to worry about currency exchange. Whether it's Australian dollars, Sharpadontes, arcane materials, or a rare collectible item, all are welcome in exchange for a ticket of equal value.
Convenient.
A small price to pay for an unforgettable journey with the talented multi-instrumentalist Barcarola and her fantastic crackling box.
Barcarola. The cheers grew louder and louder.
We've also prepared a little gift for our most enthusiastic guest. A free cruise ticket!
That's what I'm talking about.
She's trying to
This
escape.
apple should have known better.
Ladies and gentlemen, the party starts now! Put your hands together for the enchanting Miss Barcarola and her captivating melodies!
Yay, Miss Barcarola.
Woohoo!
Compliments gush from the ticket seller's mouth as the star at the center of the stage subtly turns her face away. Oh, you can hear the music in the
You're
background.
much too kind, Mr. Hamish, saying all these wonderful
She's got a new
things about me.
drifty style, man.
But I'm only a cruise musician.
Lots of bass, which makes sense given how big it is.
It's thanks to the collective efforts of the whole crew that the Free Breeze has been so successful. I just feel privileged to be a part of it.
I think you're right. She does look a lot like Wendy.
I know you want to stay humble, Miss Barcarola, but there's no reason to be so modest. Many of our guests come aboard just to hear you play, and I'm sure there will only be more in the future. So what's the harm with hyping the crowd up with a little round of applause?
Well,
It's like she's
if
playing
it's
with
for
just the
ship,
bass back
I
there, but it
suppose I
sounds
can
pretty
handle
groovy.
a little publicity.
Of course you can, and you deserve it too. By the way, do you know the guest over there? She's very, enthusiastic.
Is he talking about Regulus?
Hmm?
She follows the directions she's pointing to find a particularly lively duo among the crowd. A girl dressed in red and blue, and a floating apple.
Been drumming up the crowd. Sold us a load more tickets. We've never sold out so quickly.
Oh,
All
and
right,
now some more
everyone,
like
listen up.
solos
I've
here.
got some exciting news to share. This piece of paper in my hand could be your ticket to an incredible seafaring adventure. Just think about the cool breeze, the spruced up cruise ship, and the awesome music. What more could you ask for? This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for a trip you'll never forget. So, let's get buzzing. Throw your hands in the air and your coins out of your pockets and let your dreams come to life. Let's hear those coins jingle and fill your spirit soar.
The cheering grows louder and louder.
Is she a local? Australians are known for their sunny disposition.
No one knows her, miss. But to be honest, I'd love to invite her to join the crew. If only the captain weren't so picky with the new recruits.
You invite her on, she'll be the new captain. She nods approvingly at the freely dancing figure and clutches her crackling box tighter to her chest.
I know what you mean. Her enthusiasm is infectious. Maybe her energy would wake up our stuffy new captain. I'll never understand why the captain fired the old crew and hired a load of people who don't seem to have any clue about music. All they do is make noise, and not the good kind either.
Ouch. Several startled gazes land on Barcarola.
We better keep it down, miss. They'll hear us.
He turns, peeking in the direction of the ship before awkwardly retracting his neck.
We didn't hear any dissenting opinions about our captain now, did we?
Of course
Why are
not.
their eyes gone? The crew members glance at each other awkwardly, coughing softly to urge the embarrassing moment to pass quickly. Guests come and go, and the melodies continue one after another. Eventually, the sail away party comes to an end.
Captain, if I may, perhaps it's time we made our way to La Place.
Come on, Mr. Apple. The crowd's going crazy for us. Can't you see how close we are to winning that free ticket?
I suppose you're right, Captain. But the crew seems to be packing up for the day.
They what?
Regulus quickly intercepts the cruise team before they can make their way back on the ship.
Oh, can I help you? I'm afraid Miss Barcarola won't be signing any more albums today.
Oh, does he have a bad Italian accent?
What about my free ticket? Wasn't I the most enthusiastic guest tonight?
Oh, I thought you were Regulus.
Sorry, miss. But the most enthusiastic guess was really just a turn of phrase. We're nearly sold out tonight, and bookings are still coming in. I don't think we can spare a ticket for you. Come by next time, and we'll see what we can do.
You!
Easy, Captain. They never really explained what they meant by the most enthusiastic guest. We're in no position to argue.
Regulus glances around. The once bustling crowd has dwindled to just a few scattered passerby. Clearly, there is no one present to uphold justice for her.
What a bloody scam! I'm filing a complaint. Just you wait and see.
Filing it to who?
I understand your frustration, miss. The ship is sailing in just a couple of days. Even if you file a complaint right at this moment, we won't hear a thing from the tourist office before we set sail.
Barcarola frowns and pulls the crewman aside.
I feel bad for her, Mr. Hamish. And just think how this will affect our reputation. With your consent, I'd like to offer this young lady a ticket and a stay in my cabin.
Oh, man.
I'll be more than happy to pay for her.
You've done this so many times, Miss Barcarola. I'm afraid I have to turn you down. You know the new captain won't exactly be thrilled to have a freeloader on the ship.
But
Regulus barges between the two muttering colleagues.
So, how much longer do you need to think up an excuse?
All right. In the view of your outstanding enthusiasm, we offer you a special gift for your help with our event. There. Thanks for your support.
A stack of souvenirs is thrust into Regulus's arms. Dejected, she turns to leave. Barcarola pulls out a marker and cries out after her.
I'm so sorry about all this, Senora. I hope this will compensate for it.
Huh?
I hope we can see each other again. Preferably soon.
What?
To be continued. Great. I'm gonna take my first short little break, hit the bathroom, and then we'll be right back at it. And we're back with more Reverse 1999. On to Chapter 3 of Patch 2.4, Cryptography for Beginners. Not exactly what you thought they'd throw in right here. Cryptography into a nice, relaxing voyage on the ocean. The glass tank leans forward, the ferrofluid rippling around inside it. The ferrofluid pauses at the information presented before it.
So, they gave you this flyer at the sail-away party?
Not just that one, there's a whole stack of them.
All right, Researcher Regulus. I think I've got everything down. Let's run through it again. Researcher Regulus suffered horrendous mistreatment during the pre-sale event of the Free Breeze, which has had a significant psychological impact on her. In order to recover from this traumatic event, she formally requests
a 1-year advance on her salary and 15 days of leave. The funds are to be used solely to book passage on a cruise trip, with the goal of replacing her negative experience from the pre-sale event with a more positive one. I'm telling the truth.
The ferrofluid remains still for a long moment.
I can see that bottle of artificial tears in your hand, Regulus. Please put it away. There's no need for dramatics.
Thank you, Ulrich. I knew there was a soft spot underneath all that metal.
Not so fast, Regulus. I never said I agreed to your request.
No? Why? I'm a researcher just like anybody else, aren't I? Shouldn't Laplace be looking out for my well-being?
Regulus, you've been working in Laplace for 11 months now, and you still haven't submitted your performance appraisal or published a single valid project result. In other words, you haven't completed your probationary period, so you can't get the benefits of a full-time employee.
Oh my.
And to top it all off, you didn't even show up to register at the first Storm Research Group meeting.
In the face of such an overwhelming evidence, there is no room for rebuttal.
Well,
Her protestation has grown noticeably weaker.
Please save me the excuses. There's still a chance for you to turn things around.
This guy's not having it.
You can take another assessment. We'll use the results to make up for the assessments you've missed. It'll be crucial for your performance review and, consequently, your employee benefits.
Oh.
Bring it on.
Easy there, Researcher Regulus. You're taking a test, not going to war.
Ulrich turns around and reaches into a bookshelf. Clearly he is prepared for such an outcome. Document after document is pulled from the bookshelf and placed on the table until Regulus can no longer see above them.
I thought you said it was just a test.
You need to study for it.
I did, and I meant it. This is just some light reading for you to reference during the test. And this is the test. The numbers on this paper may appear random, but they're actually an encrypted code. Your task is to figure out what the message is. You can use the computer to help you, and you might find some useful books and papers in the second drawer on your left. The instructions for the computer and a guide on how it works are all in there. Given its difficulty, there is no time limit for this test. Best of luck, Researcher Regulus.
Nice. He exits, leaving Regulus to her mathematical prison.
You better keep your word, Ulrich, or you'll be no different than those sailors. At least they didn't torture me with maths. Lend me your strength, Brian May. Jim Morrison, Frank Zappa. Oh, God!
Regulus, as always, the troublemaker. Regulus has lost all concept of time. Endless numbers dance before her eyes, spinning and blurring together. It's like she's descended into some kind of cursed land of numbers.
You're taking a test, not going to war.
Captain, this apple has an impression on this.
Maybe you were their target because you are an irrational number.
Is it really a puzzle unsolvable?
Are you scared?
Captain!
Follow me, Regulus.
Oh boy.
Best of luck, Researcher Regulus.
Where am I? Who am I?
What? In her days, she's brought back to her days in a Baron.
Why is this happening to me? Is this some kind of cruel joke from that Aperon lot?
This realization seems to clear her mind for a moment. There's no escape from those mathematical demons.
Somebody! Anybody! Help me! Please!
Stay calm, Regulus. Don't be fooled by that walking fish tank. This is just a little itty bitty test from Laplace, not the end of your life. I get it now. I just need to add some lines to the border. Ulrich must be reminding me to follow Laplace's rules. Who cares? Wait. It's just like Sudoku. Tap an empty number, tap an empty grid, then tap a number to fill it in. Right, so that's the 9. Alright, that needs to be 5. There, okay. This one I got confused, that's 9. Yeah. I've got to click here now, and that's got to be 6. Click here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 8. 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Simplest Sudoku ever. Maybe they're just training me in it to do simulator puzzles. The mathematical onslaught seems endless. Ulrich opens the door and takes Regulus' scribbled piece of notepaper.
Glad to see you're still in high spirits, Researcher Regulus. But this doesn't add up. I gave you an encrypted code, not a Sudoku puzzle.
What do you mean?
Regulus looks as though she's been struck by lightning.
Come on, get yourself together. The 9th storm has passed, Researcher Regulus. You've had plenty of time to brush up on your math.
Ulrich strides over, picking up a paper from the desk on his way.
All right, let me explain. All you have to do is a basic decode and transcription of the result using the Laplace encryption key. See how the 4th from last digits have changed? There are no numbers greater than 24 within the 17th interval, and those in the 18th interval don't exceed 59. So, if we make a bold assumption here, these numbers have probably been coded using Laplace's nomenclature, where the codes of time are always placed between the 12th and 18th intervals. You'll see this a lot here. We use them for ships, satellites, manpower arrangements, and such.
I'm kind of lost by what he's saying.
Finally, we input the result into the Laplace astronomy database to see if we find any matches, and there. A set of photos taken from space.
Huh?
Oh, it's the Peppy Sova board. I think they showed this, but...
Are you telling me I spent the whole day doing this just to find a few photos?
These aren't just any photos, Researcher Regulus. Take a closer look. The first picture was taken on December 2nd, 1995, the day the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory was launched.
Ulrich continues to deliver a flurry of information.
The second picture was taken on June 25th, 1997, during a period of sunspot activity. The third one is from November 21st, 1998. It's an image of the first satellite ever deployed from a space station.
And the fourth is from December the 28th, 1999. Is that a rugby game?
Yes. Looks like it was the last one held in that stadium in Melbourne. The place is just a commercial district now.
Her eyes wander over the next photos, then she freezes.
But, wait. This isn't right. If you're suggesting what I think you are, then these next photos are...
Her eyes widen.
That's right. From the fifth photo onward, we can't pinpoint their exact time or location. But it seems they involve Halley's Comet, 136199 Eris and the Kuiper Belt, the Uluru Games, and a rock festival. And there are more. Take a look at these timestamps. February 9th, 2001. October 21st, 2003. November 2005.
And the last one's from... April the 16th, 2007.
Ulrich looks out to the endless blue of the sky outside.
This proves one thing. Before all our struggles to study and control the effects of the storm, this pioneer crossed the storm unscathed and sent us these images.
The storm, that heavy topic. Once again, it rears its ugly head, mocking anyone who dares to make sense of its absurdity.
But...
Thankfully, there will always be someone who doesn't bend to its desires.
Why are you telling me all this? Did everyone else's assessments turn into some kind of top-secret briefing? All I wanted was an advance on my salary.
The ferrofluid gives a stifled pang.
Just for once, could you see the bigger picture here? We've been presented with an amazing opportunity, and all you can think about is your salary?
To be continued. Let's move on. Music of the era.
The dust in here. What, are we inside some kind of vacuum cleaner? Is that why you always wear that fish tank on your head?
Familiar with Regulus's quirks, Ulrich opts for the most efficient form of communication. Done.
What's got you so quiet? Pulling the strong and silent act now?
Here we are.
Oh? Are they on board the ship? Laplace launch site, Cremola. The site has been utterly neglected. Dust and debris litter every corner of it.
Here? As in...
The Laplace launch site in Sydney. We've collaborated with the Foundation and the Space Agency for various projects here.
Thanks for the heads up. I almost thought we just barged into some rock star's house.
It will actually take another 2 years before this place becomes an official launch site.
Oh, yeah, right. We're basically living in the past.
I visited various launch sites to verify the photos. Guiana Space Center, Placid's Cosmodrome. Then, I found this place. Most of its archives were lost in the storm, but a small portion of the early records survived. I left them here with the rest of the files I compiled.
Papers scatter into the air as he rummages through the files.
Damn it! Where did they go?
The ferrofluid tremors in his tank.
Huh. So, does this mean we can all go home now?
The old slacker, give him some time.
Absolutely not. All right, new task. Stay put and don't touch anything. I need to find those files.
Yes, you do.
Fine.
As Ulrich makes his exit, Regulus scans the room, a glint glowing beneath her eyes.
Oh, amazing! An old military base. Mysterious photos. This is going to be juicy. No chance Ulrich is stopping this rockin' pirate from going after treasure. I mean, very, very important files. The hunt is on. Ha ha! Let's start with what's on this table.
The clinking and clattering of rummaging fills the air like a string of cheerful musical notes.
La 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 da 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 do 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 do. I almost forgot. Can't go treasure hunting without some music to rock out to.
Turning the knob, she powers up the amplifier.
Woohoo!
The world belongs to Rock. The vibrations reach Ulrich, causing the ferrofluid to ripple. Even the desk is trembling.
Damn it! I forgot to tell her to keep quiet.
Squawk! The screech of a bird pierces through the pumping music.
What's happening? Is this an earthquake?
A few agile black shadows leap around the upper parts of observation deck. The tremors free a note pinned to the wall and it flutters to the ground. The handwriting is all too familiar. Investigators report multiple Tripodero attacks on humans have occurred in the area. They seem to regard this abandoned facility as their territory.
This is the note I wrote last time I was here.
The ferrofluid ripples violently.
Regulus, turn off that speaker, now!
Regulus is too immersed in her treasure seeking to hear him. Squawk! A glob of dark green sludge shoots down from above. Ulrich darts aside, narrowly avoiding the attack.
For fuck's sake, I knew I should have upgraded my memo module!
He looks to the observation deck. There is Regulus, gleefully twisting to the music.
Calm down, Ulrich. You're a leader. It's part of your job to clean up after your team.
He looks over the priceless equipment around him and sighs before ducking through the emergency exit. The Tripoderos follow in hot pursuit. Alright, now they're good. This team will keep on working.
Show me what you've got. Perfectly understood. Keep calm.
boost this. It's got...
Ready, aim, grenade, flicker. Ha! My Crucible really has a mind of its own. Enjoy!
She's shooting the ghost face crab. Oh man, they're dead. And he's dead. No more
That's what it's
ghost
all
face
about.
crab.
Life or death battle and victory.
Ulrich sends a current through the electronic components around him, creating a cacophony of sounds that sends the Tripodero scattering. Squawk.
Flux! Flux! Finally it's over.
Ulrich stuffs the last piece of damaged equipment into the recovery bin. Then he climbs back through the window. He is visibly drained.
Relax, don't overheat. You'll have to get used to this if you want to be a good leader.
Regulus bounces lightly into the room.
Ulrich! Look what I found!
She waves her treasure, a hefty stack of documents, signed in bold by Ulrich himself.
Where's my round of applause? If you're even half a leader, you'll fight your hardest to get a decent salary for such an outstanding employee
as myself. She shoots him a triumphant wink.
Sure.
Just one more thing. Scientist to scientist.
What does this mean? Regulus gestures toward the still sparkling machines beside Ulrich.
You made some pretty cool electronic music in that battle. Didn't know you had it in you.
Ulrich lets out a deep sigh, deciding to avoid any further arguments with his team member.
Here are all the files related to the satellite. Look them over, Regulus.
Do we have to go through all this right now? Why? Is there some even more juicy stuff in them?
For you, it might be. The satellite carries a variety of arcane items. Space seeds, dragon tree resin compasses, obsidian crystals, WFPCs, astronomical spectrometers. Even its power source is an arcane record player. We've made a list of everything that was on it so we can test them against the artificial storm. The satellite is an archive of the wisdom of the entire human race. It somehow survived multiple storms.
Oh!
What are you gonna do with it?
Sadly, a lack of maintenance caused it to plummet to the Earth. It crashed in your time, 1966.
Regulus' sunglasses slide off her face, but she doesn't even notice. She grabs the stack of documents and flips to the last page. The telescope officially crashed in 2007 in Oldburg, England. All on-board instruments were destroyed. Recovery failed. The Regulus Space Telescope project report as above.
The telescope project was named after a record that was on the satellite, which also happens to share your name.
Regulus.
Regulus holds her backpack tightly to her chest, its pockets full of treasures. She flips through a series of records, her hands trembling. Finally, she finds the treasure she is looking for, a record identical to the one depicted in the documents. It's from the 1966 Aldeburgh Crater Music Festival, an accident from the past. And her all-time favorite.
My little thing. It was the record on the satellite.
Yes, that's the one. Wow, you've kept it in great shape.
So, this is the key to braving the storm?
It might be, amongst several other options.
I get it. That's why you wanted me on the storm research team.
We also wanted
Not
you
just
because you
that.
were smart.
I've read the Apeiron Island reports. You demonstrated some serious talent with the Ceres puzzle in that cave. And you've faced more storms than the majority of the Laplace staff. We're not working together for a couple of research papers. This is about the survival of everything on Earth. We need all the help we can get, including yours.
Regulus falls into an uncharacteristic silence. That is wild.
In fact, Laplace even held a meeting with the Foundation to discuss borrowing your record. The Foundation suggested we apply for an item transfer order under the Artificial Storm Project and let the Timekeeper take over the matter. Some of my colleagues told me that, according to LSCC regulations, lending assets to the center is mandatory for all staff.
The frequency of the ferrofluid's vibrations is chaotic, like some kind of unsolvable cipher.
But... all right. Let me be honest with you. I'm not comfortable with taking your record by force. It's yours after all. It's your choice what you do with it. So, here I am. Not as your leader, but as myself. Hoping we can find a solution that works for both of us.
Has anyone ever told you that you're terrible at negotiations?
Ah, damn it. I knew it wouldn't be easy.
He angrily knocks his tag with his fist. He is so close to the record he's been searching for. The ferrofluid ripples into a subtle arc.
Go ahead, Mr. Ulrich, before I change my mind.
Take it. Regulus' expression has never been so serious. Oh man, that is extreme.
You're willingly giving it over to the Artificial Storm Project?
His carefully prepared arguments vanish in a moment.
For a cause even greater than rock music? Absolutely. But just to be clear, I'm only lending it to Laplace. You have to give it back when you're done. It's the only copy in the world and the future centerpiece of the Regulus Museum.
She's
Thank
so
you,
happy
Researcher
right
Regulus. Thank you so much. I was gearing up for a much tougher talk. I even applied for additional funding and a month's leave to offer you as leverage. Well, I suppose I won't have to use it after all.
Regulus freezes.
What?
Boy, he really knows how to lose an argument too. The suitcase is in its usual harmony. Its occupants go about their days, each busying themselves in their own little worlds.
Timekeeper!
Sonetto, what's the rush?
I just wanted to remind you that our vacation in Australia is over. If you need any help packing, please let me know.
She wipes the sweat from her forehead. Then she remembers something.
Oh, and I have something for you.
She hands over a colorful piece of paper.
Huh?
Regulus asked me to pass these out. She won them at a sail-away party. She said they're highly valuable, the finest choice for any collection, if I recall correctly.
Aww.
Looks like an ordinary flyer to me.
I've already inspected them. They're just advertisements with a handwritten signature in the corner, and some completely over-the-top promises. Regulus told me it's a trick that advertisers use. They use fancy words to catch people's eyes and make it seem more grand. Phrases like, an opulent odyssey upon the boundless sea, tour the illustrious Pacific coast, a veritable feast of harmonic reverie, rare and fortuitous seasonal discount, and facilities unimaginable in their splendor. What's this on the back? Nor happiness, nor harmony, nor fame. Nor pride, nor strength, nor skill in arms or arts.
Oh? Did they get dunked? Those familiar words hit like a tidal wave.
Before a cruel whip, man who man would be, must rule the empire of himself. In it, must be supreme, establishing his throne.
Got a spammer in here, annihilated by Siribot.
Quelling the challenges of hopes and fears, being himself alone.
The flyer falls to the ground.
Is everything alright, Timekeeper?
This is a poem she once knew intimately. One that had been held by countless young hands and flowed gently through equally young voices. In the tree hollow, in the square, in the outdoors.
Sinetto, change of plan. We need to contact the Foundation, now.
Alright, gonna get a little bit of snack before we move on to the next chapter. Day we set sail.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Foundation admin office.
May the peace be with us.
I don't know
May
this
the peace
guy.
be with us, my friend.
Maybe I do. Constantine gives a slight nod as she peers into the shadows.
Xeno has been restored to its usual state. Aside from Igor's ardent supporters, the rest of the Xeno soldiers and officers were unaware of his betrayal. Just as we expected. Admiral Igor's funeral has been held as planned, one that befits his rank and status. All relevant personnel remained in South America for the ceremony, as per Xeno's funeral regulations. We're in the process of selecting a new admiral. I'll provide you with a candidate list shortly. Additionally, we've dispatched an investigative team to Tierra del Fuego to search for Igor.
Very well. What about the girl?
She pauses.
The girl? Are you referring to Lopera? Her emotions have stabilized, so we've decided to leave her in South America for the moment. Of course, she'll be put through the necessary investigations as circumstances dictate.
Keep a close eye on her. Oh, and that little singing bird?
Constantine takes a step closer, lowering her voice.
Xeno is quite upset about our decision regarding Miss Kimberly. They're insisting she undergoes a more thorough investigation. I feared that if we gave too much pushback, they would take a more extreme stance in response. So I agreed.
Those soldiers never budge.
Of course, Xeno agreed that the investigation would be done under the supervision of the Foundation. If nothing else comes up, she will be put into the Timekeeper's team and granted the same rights as the other members.
Good. Don't keep Vertin waiting too long.
The Xeno piece has landed safely. Constantine gives an internal sigh of relief.
There's more. Madam Z has received word from the Timekeeper. The Timekeeper suspects Manus Vindictae is active again in Sydney Harbor. They're likely on board a cruise ship named Free Breeze. This would explain why our field investigators have been having difficulties with their tasks. Manus has covered their tracks carefully this time.
Where's the cruise bound for?
That's still unclear, sir. However, Moth just reported in confirming that the ship has passed the Oceania Islands.
An interesting development.
Indeed.
Constantine's tone carries an imperceptible trace of pride.
We're making excellent progress. That's good. Assign a new mission to Vertin.
You mean to send them on that cruise?
We can't keep her under our wing forever.
Understood.
The conference room falls silent once more. Amid the layered marble pillars, a flash of white flits past the window. A white dove lands on the president's hand and gently pecks at his palm.
What brings you all the way over here, old friend?
He lowers his head, allowing the bird to nuzzle his fingertips.
Oh.
The white dove takes wing, flitting away once more. That connected to, the druid?
So, Laplace has requested the Foundation's assistance with the Artificial Storm Project?
Yes. Ulrich is overseeing the project and has requested as much asymmetrical nuclide R as we can spare. He's also requested our help in determining the most suitable location for the experiment. I have several in mind that should meet his needs.
Constantine involuntarily pauses for a moment.
The location closest to Laplace's Australian branch is on the sea. Right where the Free Breeze cruise ship happens to be.
I see where you're going.
However, I do have concerns about how this might disrupt our current plans against Manus Vindictae.
Regardless, Laplace will have our full support for the Artificial Storm Project.
Unexpected determination.
But Moth's status still remains unclear. If we proceed too hastily, we might jeopardize the situation.
Her fleeting hesitation catches the president's attention.
I thought you'd have foreseen something like this. A few pieces must be sacrificed. If you're to win the game, you know that better than anyone, don't you?
Ouch.
Is this also the Pax House's decision?
You have my word on it.
I see. I'll inform the Timekeeper and Ulrich of their missions.
Thank you. I look forward to their meeting.
We meet again, Timekeeper.
Pleasure's mine, Mr. Ulrich. I've heard good things about your work with Regulus.
Frankly, I was surprised by how selfless, passionate, and forward-looking she is. I'm truly grateful to have someone like her on my team.
Flying through his liquid, man. The ferrofluid is remarkably stable. Clearly, this is a sincere statement.
The situation on the Free Breeze is still unclear. We don't know how many Manus Vindictae followers might be on board. Our plan is to board the cruise as ordinary passengers. Regulus said she's made acquaintance with a crew member and has made sure to alter our profiles so we don't attract any unwanted attention.
That's good to hear. So Regulus didn't use her money for her own amusement after all.
After muttering to himself, Ulrich returns to the task at hand.
We should stagger our boarding times. I'll reach out if I spot any signs of Manus Vindictae. Let's stay in touch. See you on board.
Like he won't be standing out completely.
Mr. Ulrich, we're more than happy to assist with your mission.
Oh, no. Please don't trouble yourself. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I'd appreciate your help were the circumstances different. But the experiment is still confidential. Please don't mention it to anyone. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary risks or interference. On the cruise ship, we are but strangers.
I see.
Don't you worry. I have a little disguise for myself, too.
Well, that explains it. All games must come to an end. I'll miss you, Spathadia, Ezra, Miss Desert Flannel, and all of Australia too. And most of all, I'll miss my holidays. I'll miss you heaps. Come on over for a proper goodbye hug, friends. Couldn't ask for better mates. Alright, easy love, hands off the hair. I've still got to head out and sell the last copies of Aluburu's Past, unveiled and snagging tickets for dummies. Please take care, Captain. This apple hopes the issues in the optical laboratory will be dealt with by the time you return. This is all for the funding, Chief Mate. So it looks like we'll have no choice but to say our farewells. No need to get too sentimental. You'll all be reunited soon enough. There are joint seminars hosted by Laplace all year round. Oh really? That is good to know. Of course. All you need to do is download a form from the Voice of Laplace part of the forum and hand it over to your team lead. After it's approved, HR will put you in the queue before... Oh, please no. I don't want any more of this bureaucratic rubbish ruining my farewell memories. Okay, say? What? I think it's better we part ways now. If we stand here hugging for too long, we might end up drawing a crowd. Regulus won first place in a rock pirate impersonation contest. Now that's natural talent. Miss Barcarola, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't allow this lady to board the ship. And that's Miss Grace again. Wow, why not? All our guests have paid for their trip in full, and their professions and reasons for boarding fully comply with this ship's regulations. Not everyone's profession meets the regulations. Let's take a look at Miss Regulus's self-introduction. An alchemist scholar from the renowned research institute, Laplace. A true heir to the spirit of rock. And a pirate who once dominated all the radio frequencies along the River Thames. Miss Barcarola, you might not know this, but back in the 60s, there was a pirate rocker who went by the very same name. She broadcasted illegally on the Thames, took pleasure in antagonizing legal broadcasters and record labels, and was eventually shut down by the government. Although the UK government's warrant against this pirate has been lifted, if this is the same person, inviting her on board could affect the good reputation of the Freebreeze. I've met Miss Regulus myself, and there's no way she's the same person. She's far too young to have lived through the 60s. She could be a copycat. What if she mimics her idol's outrageous actions on the high seas? She wouldn't do such a thing. I'm surprised you'd be so quick to defend her. Don't you know that those pirate rockers make a mockery of true musicians like you? Why are you standing up for her? I've witnessed her passion for music firsthand, and she's not mocking anyone. I'm not sure why she chose that name, but that's no reason to judge her so prematurely. If you're still worried, Captain, I promise to keep an eye on her. I'll make sure she doesn't get up to any mischief in the broadcast room, or anything else you're concerned about. If she does anything that harms the good name of the Freebreeze, then you may throw me overboard along with her in my crackling box. Quite the fire from our star performer. Fine, if you're willing to put that much trust in her, I won't press any further. And there's no need to worry about the broadcast room. I'm sure it would be just fine. Obviously, she's the same person. Got about 30 minutes left until Mume's stream and we stop. Girls weave their way carefully through the excited crowd like a pack of seagulls.
Miss Barcarola, at last you've graced us with your presence. Henry and I were just having a little wager on whether we'd see our musical star outside the spotlight. Looks like he'll be buying me the next round of whiskey, eh?
Well bet, signore. Allow me to pour you the first glass. How do you like your whiskey? On the rocks, perhaps?
Indeed. Thank you, my dear.
On the rocks, whiskey. So, Barcarola just stood up for Regulus as the cruise begins.
Over here, Mum! It's Miss Barcarola! Last time I saw her, she performed an entire symphony all by herself. She was the whole orchestra. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, that is quite noteworthy.
It's good to see you again, my little friend.
The woman beside her turns around and lovingly pats the boy on the head.
Miss Barcarola, what a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. My child hasn't stopped talking about you since you spoke to him about the didgeridoo at Sydney Harbour. He was so excited by it that he begged us to bring one on board.
Oh, okay.
How lovely. The didgeridoo truly is an enchanting instrument.
Takes some real talent to play, though.
It's so resonant, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like it's echoing from the depths of the earth itself. I've actually been experimenting with playing it alongside my crackling box.
What?
It's a wonderful match with the tin whistle and kalimba, and I'm sure a number of other instruments too.
As she sparks, Barcarola's eyes sparkle with enthusiasm.
Looks like she's pretty popular too.
Too?
Have you forgotten, Sinetto? You're also looking at a popular public figure yourself. One that had half of London hunting. Cheering for her. The bittersweet burden of fame.
Their attention is quickly turned to a quiet corner of the ship. There's a gang of people dressed in brightly colored clothes. Crowns made of leaves and flowers adorn their heads, and their bronze skin is glowing under the warm lights. They stand in a circle, occasionally glancing around, the shells on their chests clinking together melodiously.
That group over there seems unusually uptight.
Having absorbed the adoration of the people around her, Barcarola makes her way over. She certainly wouldn't overlook the curiosity of any of her guests.
Oh, those are the captain's special guests. They're from one of the Oceania archipelagos. Nukuteao, I believe. They're probably just a bit nervous. I imagine they don't often find themselves among so many foreigners.
After handling the small matter at hand, Barcarola is hurriedly carried away by the distant voices of other guests.
Nukuteao. I read about it in a history of arcane ethnicity back in the SPDM. It's a remote place, and its people hold a special kind of shell at the center of their beliefs. They've rarely made contact with the outside world. It's often been described as a peaceful paradise.
Aww.
I also read that the Nukutai almost never leave their homeland. Why are they here?
Their hushed conversation clearly meets the ears of the nearby Nukutai.
The Nukutai will never abandon our homeland. Just wait. We'll find our way back when the new era comes.
The new era.
Though in a foreign accent, these words sound all too familiar.
Toa, that's enough. Tutu told us not to talk with outsiders.
An equally young girl stands protectively in front of the boy.
But someone had to tell them the truth.
I apologize. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I was just curious.
Well, next time, keep your mouth shut.
Ouch.
What could you possibly know about the Nukutai?
I mean, she talked quite a bit about him. The boy looks ready to explode. That's what happens when you don't have much interaction with outsiders. It gets rough. Noticing the outburst, Barcarola breaks away from the other guests and hurries over.
Please, everyone, I'm Barcarola, the musical director. Is there anything I can help you with? I'll do all I can to ensure everyone has a pleasant experience.
Before she can reach them, a crisp collision of shells stops Barcarola in her tracks.
What's going on? What do you want?
Her voice holds no restraint in its hostility.
Tutu! Salone, Toa, stay back! These outsiders can be dangerous.
Dangerous? Have you never heard of me before?
Fatutu looks Barcarola over, eyeing the peculiar wooden contraption by her side. Aww. Suppressing her curiosity about this unique object, she steadies her gaze once more.
Whoever you are, I ask that you leave us in peace.
Barcarola's lost for words. Clearly her status as a musical star has made her unaccustomed to such remarks. Ignoring the now flushed girl before her, Fatutu and the other Nukutai retreat back to their corner.
Tutu, thank the tides you came. I wasn't sure what to do.
So are we going to take Miss Grace's offer or not? She promised it would bring our islands back.
Ouch. Toa casts a fierce glare at Fatutu.
Enough, Toa. These outsiders don't need to know why we're here. And stop mentioning Miss Grace. Could draw unwanted attention.
But what's there to hide? There's no shame in wanting our home back. If we don't stand with Miss Grace, we'll lose Nukuteao forever.
I want to go home too. Probably more than anyone. I already miss Melly's red coral reefs, blue sea, and canoe races. We'll get through this, Toa. I promise we'll be neighbors again, picking breadfruit and coconut flowers together. But before we accept Miss Grace's offer, there's a few things that need to be made clear. And remember, none of these passengers are to blame for what happened to our home. Okay? But Miss Grace has offered us a way home. We'll have our islands back, just as they were. Our promised land. We will go home, Sloane. Trust me. I just need to figure out a few things first. Starting with this wonderful new era she keeps talking about.
Miss Grace gets a bit more sinister than she was earlier.
You seem a little on edge, Chief Kamuda.
Kamuda is pacing back and forth in the cabin.
Miss Grace, how much longer do we have to wait for this new era to come? Many of our people have never left Nukuteao before. We're struggling to adjust. Some have even fallen sick. We can't stay adrift on the sea like this much longer. Our spirits are low. The shells of some of my people have begun to crack.
He lowers his head to the faintly glowing shells in his palm. They radiate warmth.
Not everyone is strong enough to endure this journey. Please, Miss Grace, you have to help us.
While it pains me to hear this, the journey must go on. You have nowhere to return to after all. We still have some space below deck. You can use it to store your people's bodies should they die.
Wow. Her gaze remains fixed on the crystalline shells in Kamuta's hand.
That's not exactly what we're asking for. Please show us another way. Help us like you did when you foresaw the destruction of Melly. I beg of you.
Grace tilts her head, a glimmer of intrigue on her face as she observes the pained expression on Kamuta's face.
I've already shown you a way, haven't I?
A sudden pressure swells in his chest as the sticky black liquid drips onto his skin.
You mean joining the Manus? But the Nukutai haven't had a conflict with anyone for centuries. That's why we hid ourselves away from the world. Difficult to persuade my people to do this. All we want is for our people to return to familiar soil, to feel our spirits at home. Nothing more.
But Melly is already gone.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we should take revenge on the outside world. It was an act of the sea itself. It would be unjust to blame anyone for it.
What about the torpedo test sites designated over Malaga and Vaipuna? Aren't there people who should answer for that?
It was probably just a mistake. The area they chose was far from the main islands of Nukuteao, and hardly anyone fishes there. They may not have realized that my people lived there.
And the oil spill? The wastewater discharge? Were all those fish killed by pollution also just an act of the sea?
Please, we're not looking for conflict.
Of course you're not. After all, they've only stolen everything you've ever held dear.
Her voice drops abruptly, her next words delivered with the lightness of a feather.
And arrogantly assumed every inch of this planet is theirs to exploit. War is inevitable, whether you want it or not, Nukutai.
She gently pushes the mask forward. Its dark presence is unavoidable.
But if you join us, you will have an invaluable ally. Time.
Grace glances at her pocket watch before slipping it lightly into her pocket.
The window is closing. The sifting is about to begin.
Both a prompt and a prophecy. The spirit shells around Kimuta's neck burn. They cling to his chest as they twist with
Has
ferocity.
it really come to this? To revenge?
His eyes flash up to the jagged mask on the table. Dark tendrils extend from it, groping the air around it, a silent invitation. His spirit shells are almost scorching.
Oh no. It's quite the opposite. It's salvation.
Think you can get in one more. Music or light? The main hall is packed with people, yet there is no music to be heard. A peculiar scene indeed. Fortunately, the guests don't seem to mind. There is no stage in the world that offers a performance like this one.
Signora Regulus, as I'm sure you understand, there's a great deal of effort involved in creating a concerto. From the initial spark of inspiration, to the careful arrangement of the music, to the skill required to play it. The fact that any concerto has ever been performed at all is nothing short of a miracle.
Nice! Barcarolla's tone is solemn, like a steadily intensifying march.
As musical director, it is my duty to select the perfect repertoire to bring delight to every listener.
Well, thank you,
Then,
Barcarolla.
the esteemed passengers of the Free Breeze can enjoy their dessert and wine with the finest musical accompaniment.
Ugh, you can't be serious. Where's the fun in just sitting there and listening? I promise you, this lot have had more than enough lazy jazz and swooning piano to last a lifetime. We need to shake things up. Make this voyage the greatest of the century. How about some 60s rock? And wouldn't you know it, this visionary former captain has a record player right here with her.
She holds a stack of records high in the air.
All right, people, let me hear you cheer. Music is freedom. It should stir the soul anytime, anywhere.
Stop, Regulus! I'm the musician here, not you!
Barcarolla's cheeks flush red. The audience claps, amused by the antics on the stage. A small flower-adorned girl sits discreetly among them.
These outsiders seem so full of life. They're nothing like what Miss Grace described. Full of hatred and hostility.
Fatutu remains alert, her eyes fixed on the stage.
This is my performance. If you really must share your music with us, then perhaps you should go to the captain and apply to be a cruise musician like me.
With all due respect, Miss Barcarola, the point I'm trying to make is that only a DJ knows what the crowd really wants.
Before Barcarola can protest anymore, the cunning little lion presses the play button on the record player. What was that? In a moment, all the lights on the ship have gone out. Regulus had no idea her record player could produce such effects.
Huh? Did I just shoot lightning bolts from my fingertips?
Of course not.
Barcarola finally manages to wrest the microphone from Regulus's hand, but a far more pressing issue than the content of the concert now faces them. Amid the darkness, discontent quietly arises.
God damned! Who's stepping on my brand new leather shoes? Will you please watch yourself?
I was just about to say the same thing. Just let go of my jacket, moron!
Could you all keep it down? I'm going deaf here. Oh no, my wine! And the cheese platter!
And the cheese platter! The clamor of irritated voices quickly fills the space.
This could turn to total chaos before long. No, I can't let that happen. I must go check on the master switch.
Barcarola pushes through the crowd as she carves a path to the power room.
Hey! Miss Barcarola! Please let me through, Signora Elizabeth.
Unfortunately, the guests can't tell a musician from a mechanic through the darkness.
Barcarola, where are you going? Let me give you a hand.
Oh, we've got a fight now, do we? Let's do 3. Alright.
Time to verify my new hypothesis.
Team Star.
A good point.
Form, space, and
No
order.
other study could show you this.
Oh, they're so weak that they died to the warm-up.
A new hypothesis.
Is that a firefly or a tooth fairy?
A good point.
Which one hurts?
We have reached a preliminary conclusion.
The benefits of field napping.
Yet another proof nearing perfection.
Come on! There aren't as many of them this way.
Unbelievable. It's like you're an escape artist or something.
I'll, take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. Thank you so much, Signora Regulus.
A new narrow path appears, and Barcarola unceremoniously pushes Tharmite, but it seems the surprise is for the dare coming to an end. A faint light flickers across Barcarola's vision and then quickly falls to the ground.
What was that?
A piece of rough bark twisted into the shape of a lampshade with a compass-like burnt root burning warmly inside shines through the darkness.
Tutu, I'm fine. How's the Sea Mother's eye?
Solid as ever, of course. It takes more than a few knocks to damage Nukutai craftsmanship.
I knew getting too close to those oafs would bring trouble.
Oafs? Are you calling me stupid?
Before the situation can escalate any further, Barcarola picks up the oddly shaped lamp. She is quickly basked in its glow.
What's this?
What did I say? Of course you have no idea what this is.
We form palm bark into lampshades about the size of a coconut, then tie fat-soaked compass grass inside. We call it Sea Mother's eye. Every Nukatai knows how to make one.
They're way better than those noisy, buzzing light bulbs. Wait, why are we even telling her this?
Shh.
Before he can say another word, Fatutu hastily pulls Toa aside.
We need to lower their guard.
Huh?
Toa eyes Fatutu suspiciously.
So that we can earn their trust. If we don't understand our enemies, how can we help Miss Grace with her mission and rebuild our home?
Oh.
Besides, we can't just leave them to shout and run around. It'll disturb our people's rest.
Toa finally breathes a sigh of relief.
Trust me, that girl will thank us for this later. And then we can get all the information we need from her.
Then we should make more Sea Mother's eyes and hand them out to the outsiders.
Now you've got it.
By the waves, Tutu, you really are clever. No wonder the elders always listen to you.
Despite this praise, Fatutu turns away, a quiet look of doubt on her face.
Is this really the right thing to do?
Regardless, the sound of bark scraping grows as people get back to work. One by one, the Sea Mother's eyes light up. They are passed through the room, rough and soft hands alike, illuminating bronze skin, flax-colored irises, and something hair. As the warm lights make their way through the crowd, the clamor subsides. No more panic shouts, no more arguments, often in unique harmony.
What peculiar little things. Reminds me of my days on the fishing boat. I always loved spotting the lighthouse on our way back. These look just like it.
The craftsmanship is remarkable. You'd be hard-pressed to find something of this standard in a factory these days.
They remind me of the things my grandma and I used to make when I was little. She could even carve a whistle out of a parsnip.
They're sharing food and stories, just like we do on bonfire nights.
Fatutu glances at her fellow Nukutai. Relived memories and longing are etched into their faces.
I'm getting more and more confused by Miss Grace's words.
The guests lean on each other, chatting happily under the warm glow of the lamps.
Miss Barcarola.
The timid voice of a child reaches Barcarola's ears.
Hi.
The scene before her is a mess. This is certainly no time for a symphony performance. Among the crowd, she sees Regulus shaking her head.
Is this one of the changes I must make to truly embrace music?
A single note drifts from her crackling box. Then a harmonious melody of joyful, lively, and contrasting sounds.
Wow!
Their joy illuminated by the lamps. The guests start to clap along.
Attention passengers. The Free Breeze is currently experiencing a power outage due to a fuse blown by a cargo leak in the lower deck. We ask that everyone remain calm.
Nice.
We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. To make your wait more comfortable, we'll be offering unlimited ice cream shortly.
Unlimited ice cream?
Additionally, since we're approaching the habitat of the series, we're expecting an increase in turbulence and noise as we work to ward them off. We appreciate your understanding.
The hall brightens again, and the guests bid one another farewell, the lamp still held tightly in their hands. Barcarola exhales deeply as Regulus approaches her, a smug look on her face.
See? What did I tell you? Music works wonders. Anytime, anywhere.
You were right, Signora Regulus.
Oh no, she's going to become too powerful.
You owe me one now. So, how about a little reciprocity?
She rubs her fingers together mischievously.
Say, letting me have a rock session on the ship?
Do you promise you won't cause any trouble?
Cross my heart.
All right.
She lied as she breathed.
But...
Woohoo!
Permission granted. Regulus doesn't hear to wait her extra condition. She's already dashed off, speaking as she goes.
Don't forget to thank the girl who made the lamp.
As if I need you to remind me. I'll have you know I was just about to head over to her.
Barcarola gently paces over to the darkened corner that has become the gathering place of the Nukatai.
Tutu was right. The stupid girl's back.
Shh. Huh? I must say, I don't appreciate being called an oaf or stupid, but I would like to thank you for your help back there.
What?
On behalf of the whole crew, you have our respect.
Oh. What do we do now? Tutu never said they'd be so friendly.
The bewildered islanders exchange glances.
Tutu? Where did she go?
Alright. To be continued. We're going to stop it here. Look at our raids. Finished up number 7. Oh. St. Cisco's still on, and I know she was caring about Mume, so I'm gonna try and raid her.